Hey, what's up? I'm Andy, and this is a video explaining the file setup for the popular New Game Plus No QE category of Ratchet and Clank 3 Up Your Arsenal, more commonly referred to as YoAndy. Without further ado, here is the optimal file setup required to run NG Plus No QE. Version differences. The optimal version for No QE is PS3 download with an SSD or solid state drive. Note there is no need to spend big on an SSD as the PS3 is SATA 1 capped. Other versions of the game and their time losses are listed on this table. Indicators in the top corners will identify whether the information or setup is either PS2 or PS3 exclusive. Languages. On PS2, there isn't a huge difference in languages. German followed by Spanish are the fastest languages widely available, saving in the region of 4 to 5 seconds over English. The same is true for PS3, but with the addition of another factor, Quark Warp. This strat causes us to warp over to Quark right at the start of Florana. We don't know exactly why it happens, but we do know that it only works on PS3 and only when playing on Spanish or German. Basically, playing on Spanish or German and getting Quark Warp can save you around 20 seconds over other languages. Quick Select Pause. Quick Select Pause can be turned off via the Options menu on PS2. For PS3, it's not so easy. To do so is as follows. Before you start making your file, you need to first go into the multiplayer menu. From here, enter a private lobby, and once loaded into the game, exit out again. This method of turning off the Quick Select Pause works due to being able to carry over the Quick Select Pause from multiplayer, where it is off by default. Finally, go back to the main menu and select New Game. From here, you can start to build your file. Quick Select Pause has now been turned off on this file forever. Note that this doesn't work when loading a pre-existing file, as whether or not a file has Quick Select Pause on is determined when the game file is first created. Fortunately, this also means that once Quick Select Pause has been disabled, it never has to be done again. Weapons. The following weapons need to be leveled up to their maximum level of V8. The Shock Cannon, the Mega Turrets, the Tesla Barrier, the Plasma Storm, the Splitter Rifle, the Nitro Eruptor, and the Rift Inducer. The Plasma Whip can be any level, as it isn't used against enemies. Finally, it is optimal for the Rhino to stay at V4. This is because the V4 Rhino kills enemies faster and also works better for a trick called Rhino Bombing. For this reason, we keep its XP away from V5, so we don't accidentally level it up mid-run. Items. Aside from just helping to keep you safe, the Infinux armor, bought for 1 million bolts, also allows us to charge off the edge of the magnetic surfaces on Obani Draco, saving an abundance of time. It is also suggested that 200 nanotech be acquired, so as to not die too easily to enemies later on in the run. The nanopack is optional and doesn't save any time, but can be acquired if the runner decides they would like it for the extra health buffer. Finally, the charge boots are of course required, as they are the main source of speed in the run. The box breaker found on Zeldrin should not be acquired in an optimal setup. This is because on Metropolis it is very important to keep this box from getting broken. so it can be used for both the route to and back from the boss fight. This lamp also needs to go unbroken. For these reasons, the box breaker is a hindrance. Menu settings. The camera direction should be set to normal. This is due to a strange interaction with the turret on Marcadia that causes it to become hard to control when playing on inverted on PS3. It is also recommended that you learn to play on the highest camera rotation speed possible due to the importance of quick camera movements. The help desk text and voice settings need to be disabled as it stops cutscenes from starting and requires constant triangle inputs to interrupt. Menu storage. After reloading a file on PS2, the menu markers are set back to their default positions. As you can see, the markers have been reset. On PS3, the menu will store where your pointer last was between loading files. This is used to quickly shoot through the menus at the start of the game, as well as set up a slightly faster exit from the first vidcomic menu. This is why when run is reset on PS3, they cycle through the menus using R2, so that the pointer stays over weapons for the next run. This also applies to the quick select. Weapon order. Just before you destroy the Bi-Obliterator and set up your file, it is optimal to have the shot cannon, followed by the turret, and then the whip in your weapon cycle, as these weapons will stay there when the file is loaded ready for attempts. It is optimal to have this particular setup, as they are the only 3 weapons that are used on Veldin. Anchor files. The file being made is known as an anchor file. This is the file we use to save over our attempted runs after we've been through all of the other 4 files, or the other 3 files if you're playing on PS2. It is important that this file remains untouched except for saving, so that the files we save over are fresh and run ready. By using this file to save over the used runs, they now also become anchor files, and so it doesn't matter which one we play on. Just make sure you always leave at least one anchor file to save over the others. There are also pre-set up community save files that can be re-signed and put onto your PS3 if required to use as your own. A link to a re-signing guide as well as the file itself will be in the description of the video. Before this video ends, here is a quick note about NG+ no QE. QE stands for Quit Exploit, which is a manipulation used in the standard NG+ run, a separate category that allows about half the run to be skipped by abusing the PS3's saving and quitting mechanics, and is thus only runnable on PS3. NG+ no QE is considered the primary or default category for Ouya. A video going more in depth about NG+ and Quit Exploit is in the works and will be linked in the description when it comes out. For now though, that's all you need to know to set up your Ouya NG+ no QE file. Other helpful resources for running the category will be linked in the description. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask in our public Discord. Thanks for watching and good luck.